you have mentioned the possibility of banning PMDs completely if user behavior does not improve. And obviously, there are sound reasons for what you said, given the fact that people have died because of improper usage of the PMDs.
There's a community of 100,000 at least PMD users here in Singapore, and they're not taking this very well. What do you have to say to them?
Well, I can understand where they're coming from, and I'm sure there's more than 100,000 because it's it's about 90,000 that were registered in
yes.
June, and I think there's quite a lot that are still unregistered. But let me get back to where you started, Donald. I mean, we do believe in this last mile, first mile connectivity, and the real issue is that today most people, and for the foreseeable future, they're going to do their first mile, last mile connectivity on foot. They need to have the confidence that they can walk on the pedestrian paths safely and not be worried about having injuries and so forth.
Okay.
So yes, PMDs we think have a role to play. Yes, they can be useful if they're used responsibly, but our primary focus has to be that the footpaths have to be safe.
Yep.
Now, the vast majority of PMD users are indeed responsible, and I think we shouldn't straight away have a knee-jerk reaction because of a small number of people who have behaved badly. But we do want to send the signal that while we are building out the infrastructure, it's going to take some time in order to sort of do this separated traffic and really rebuild parts of our city to see that car light vision. That's going to take some time, but while we're doing that, we need safe footpaths,
sure.
And we'll do what it takes to get those footpaths safe.
Okay.
We don't particularly think a ban is what we need to do right now, but it's part of our consideration, and it's something that we have as a tool if it becomes necessary.
I mean, I'm a little bit puzzled as to why it's so difficult. I mean, it seems the logical thing you would do is to make sure there are checks when they're imported, so you make sure those that come in meet the specifications. Obviously, there's enforcement, which you can do to a certain degree on the roads. And then, of course, there's, I guess, education and awareness, right? Doesn't it all come together and we should reach that point where everyone becomes, responsible users?
Yeah, no, I think I have a job for you at MOT. You just articulated our entire strategy. No, that's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. But it takes time to do that. I mean, my colleague, SMS Lampimin, announced just a few months ago what we're doing over the next few months. And indeed, exactly that. We're registering the devices. Once you start registering the devices, you can talk about which ones are compliant and non-compliant, and we want to get the non-compliant ones off the road. Then we've offered this incentive for disposal. Then we're talking about whether or not we need to license the rider. Then we need to think about insurance. These are some of the recommendations that have come in. You put all of these things together and you're exactly spot on. We will then be able to look at and control devices, riders, and behavior, as a result of which we hope to make everything safer.
Okay, so how long do you think this will take?
Well, it's being progressively rolled out. By the middle of next year, we'll have quite a lot of the processes in place, and quite a lot of the devices will have passed through the registration process and everything. So it's not years we're talking about, it's months in the first instance. But the other part is the infrastructure. If you're really talking about building these shared paths and increasing the amount of space available, that's going to take a lot longer. And so the question is behavior going to improve just in the next couple of months?
Probably not. That's my call anyway.
By Christmas, maybe?
Is it going to take, a lot longer for behavior to improve? And do we need to be really quite strict to make sure that the behavior improves before our infrastructure gets built?
Yeah.
And that's the reason I made my comment in Parliament.